Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to what is essentially an ordinary MT-09. In many ways this is just an ordinary MT-09. It's got an MT-09 seat, it's got the Yamaha MT-09 back wheel and swing arm, it's got the Yamaha MT-09 electronics, the Yamaha MT-09 dash, the MT-09 handlebar switches, even that crisp, beautiful triple 850cc motor. So it is in many ways an Yamaha MT-09, an ordinary Yamaha MT-09. Except it really isn't.
It is called a Yamaha Niken, and it is, for all intents and purposes, a trike. But not quite in the same way as a big Harley trike or a Can-Am Spider.
You see, it's got a complicated linkage system in the front that means it can do this. Haha, it leans. It's a leaning trike. A leaning trikey.
Now, we've seen these leany trikeys before, like the Gilera Fiocco and Yamaha's own Tricity. But you might have noticed that these are all more of the scooter persuasion. That would mean that this is the first full-on motorcycle to achieve leany trikey status. But the obvious question is, why?
We are here at Monroe Drive in the scenic Johannesburg suburb of Houghton, and the reason for that is because our cameraman always wants to come and film here. I mean, you look at this road, it's got that very dramatic 180-degree bend, and it's nice and scenic, and the light is good, and cinematically it's a brilliant place to shoot. But we as riders have always been against it. We've always said no way, because while this is a great place to shoot, the road on the other hand, it's a very old road. It's seen a lot of traffic, as you'll see up and down here. And the tar over there has kind of been worn kind of smooth, and it's got ruts and it's got bumps. So while the shot might look good, as a rider all you're going to see is somebody going around with a bike basically upright and looking terrified. But you know what, today I think I'm going to give it a go. We're going to approach the corner. This is on the upward, which is slightly better. Right now this feels sort of like a motorbike, pretty much motorbike-ish. And here we go, brake, everything's fine. Oh, that looks slick, turn in. Oh, it's sticking in. Haha, we're through. This way again, through the fast stuff. No, sticky, it's stuck. Yeah, I don't have to be scared of Monroe Drive. My cameraman's gonna be thrilled about this. Let's do it again. The downward pass is a little bit trickier. Here we go again. Do the fast sweep, and then you brake hard. I'm overtaking someone on a scooter. Brake hard through the bumps. Oh, it's letting go a little bit, but it's fine. That was amazing. It kind of gives you a little bit of warning. It like moves a little bit, and then just kind of straightens up. You know, you sort of just adjust the bars slightly and it straightens up. It like helps you do a Marc Marquez. That's so cool.
And so, the point of this machine is to offer the rider more confidence, especially in the front end. This is a motorcycle that offers the cool lean angle of a motorcycle, but without the front end slipperiness. It's a win-win everywhere. Well, nearly.
Yeah, obviously there's a few little problems. It weighs quite a bit. This is 263 kilograms, and that's, well, compared to the MT-09, it's a lot. It's quite wide. It's quite a bit wider than your average, and you know, that's just given, pretty much. The other thing is, although it promotes corner and more grip and, well, supposedly grip, more kind of cornering ability, it only leans up to 45 degrees. And the reason for that is simple, it just kind of runs out of linkage. That turning, it'll eventually run out of linkage. And the foot peg touches the ground. So that means racetracks, you know, hardcore racetrack riding is a little bit out of the question. Then there's the price. I mean, how much is an extra front wheel? Well, this motorcycle costs 275,000 Rand. That's quite a lot.
These are legitimate criticisms, but they are in many ways justified. What is the cost of more front end? What is the cost of possibly avoiding the catastrophic?
Right, yeah, I mean, if you are skittish about your, front end of your motorcycle, and you are kind of, I don't want to say nervous, but just sort of wary of it, especially all-weather riders, people who ride on roads like this, then I mean, yeah, how much is that worth? I mean, how much is the sort of side of your motorcycle to replace? A few hospital bills. Not saying that's going to happen, but yeah, you feel better knowing it could well not happen. Here we go, leaning again. Also, this motor's amazing. It is, again, essentially an MT-09. It's had the crank heavy slightly, and the fueling's done a little bit, so give it just a little bit more just to kind of propel this thing. Yeah. Otherwise, it's cozy actually. I mean, I've been sitting here most of the day filming, and I feel good. I mean, there's wind protection. It's not exactly full-on tourer, but it's good. I could stay here for a while. You could do touring on this thing, and the front feels sort of weird. I mean, here I'm going around a traffic circle, turn. The front end feels weird, but you get used to it. After a while, you're kind of like, what's for lunch? What am I doing tonight? What book should I read? Let's go watch a movie. You forget about it. You really do. You completely forget. And then you get off and you see the machine. You think, I'll tell you who doesn't forget is everyone around you. Everyone around you, wherever you're going, especially when you start doing the kind of, looking a bit like a Spider-Man villain, they all notice. Jaws drop.
Remember that unlike other trikes, this is a legitimate motorcycle by every definition. It can even pull big wheelies and stoppies.
Obviously, I'm not going to do that because that would be irresponsible and dangerous. Irresponsible and dangerous. Yep. That's the only reason. Yep.
The Niken has its clinical benefits, but that's not the biggest reason I enjoy it. I love it because it dares to be different, dares to try something new, dares to try something that has never been done before. And there's a huge amount of respect for something like that. There just has to be.
Almost hurts me to say this, but Don, I completely agree with you.
What?
I know, I feel a bit faint having said that, but now I do agree with you. You've gotta, even if this thing was absolute rubbish, which it obviously isn't, I mean, major kudos for doing something so different, trying some new engineering.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do we see this kind of stuff? Never.
I love this sort of, it's almost like kind of what if, you know what I mean? Let's try this, let's do this. I mean, you see Ducati and MotoGP keep trying these sort of things, and people like Honda keep saying, well, it's not going to work, right up until they copy it. You know what I mean? But I love this idea of just so different. You've got to have appreciation for it. You have to, even if you think, oh, it's three wheels, what do you want three wheels for?
It looks utterly brilliant. Well, let's touch on that. What do you want? You must remember that in the market already, there are much smaller capacity versions of this.
I mean,
the Italians.
This is the first
big bike.
I hate saying full size, but you know what I mean, non-scooter.
Yeah.
This is the first three-wheel non-scooter that leans, and up until now it's all been sort of scooters. That sort of, and you kind of get this idea of little old lady, not wanting to fall over riding to the shops, and
which is true. That's why they've sold so well in Europe, is the fact that they do offer a greater degree of safety for your average biker.
Yes.
Well, your average scooter rider.
Yes.
Having said that, this is not the same market, is it? It's not going to be a little old ladies going to the shop and buy one of these.
It's not, and I will counter that by saying, despite what all my friends think, I'm not a beginner rider, and I really enjoyed this. You know what I mean?
He's quite gushing, isn't he? I get the genuine impression that you like this.
You agree with me, so
yes, I do, which has made me feel a bit sick. But
start worrying.
Okay,
mate.
but listen, if you got 270 grand burning a hole in your pocket and you want to be genuinely unique in the bike, is it a bike, by the way, or is it a trike?
No, here's the
what is
interesting
it?
thing. It's a motorcycle, but technically not a motorbike. Think
Eh?
about that. Well, bike implicitly means two. Motorcycle, not quite. So it's a motorcycle, but not a motorbike. Have we confused you now?
You confused me. Well, listen, if you want to find out for yourself, we are at World of Yamaha, or Yamaha World of Motorcycles. Pop down. The bike is, sorry, it's not a bike, the tricycle bicycle thing. It's here. Come and check it out for yourself. We'll see you after the ad break. Bye.